Like a cookie.
This is Real Race Talk from Texas. It's the Revved Up Sports Show. Here's Bobby Chaffee and Rodney Rodriguez.
Don't think jits, think pink gators. My Detroit players, Tim's for my hooligans in Brooklyn. Dead right, if the head right, Biggie there, and I Papa been school.
Oh, there we are. Welcome to another live cast edition of the Revved Up Sports Show all over the world. From the headquarters here at Revved Up Sports Show. Showtime, Bobby Chaffee right here. That's the Iceman, Rodney Rodriguez. That's that man right back over there for those looking at us on the interwebs, Facebook Live, YouTube. Are we on TikTok? Stitcher. All those
everywhere, man. Everywhere. And, of course, the home base, RevvedUpSportsShow.com. 23 years ago, we lost. 23 years ago today, we lost the notorious B.I.G. So we'll do a little bit of Hypnotize to bring us into this. The clean version. Got it right there. Good stuff. Back in the day,
I didn't know there was a clean version of that.
Oh yeah, there's a clean version of everything. You just kind of have to dig around, a little bit and find them. But they're definitely there. But yeah, as Bobby said, they're streaming on multiple platforms beginning this evening, as a matter of fact. So hopefully you will find this and share it with someone. As said earlier on Facebook, hell, share it with somebody you don't like. I don't care. What better way to piss off someone you don't like? You share this with them, and they get to hear this nonsense, and there you go. And all of that is good. How you doing with springing forward, man?
I hate it. I had my 3 o'clock.
So stupid.
I had the 3 o'clock crash about 4:30. Man, it was just brutal.
I cannot figure out why in the hell we still do this. When talk about farming and all of that. I mean, I know a lot of folks. I mean, my dad did a lot of farming as a young kid, and of course back then, those John Deeres and all of those, they didn't have lights and all of the stuff that they have now. But I mean, these guys can farm continually or continuously, whichever it may be. And so that's that. So I don't know. It's pretty stupid. I think I know a lot of these states have gotten away from doing that, but it's a pain in the ass, I'll tell you. And it worked out because everything has a national day now. And of course, today was National Nap Day.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Monday after daylight saving times, that totally makes a lot of sense.
Good thoughts right there, whoever came up with that. Before we dive into this program, and we do have lots to talk about tonight. Of course, we will talk about NASCAR race that happened yesterday, the NASCAR weekend. Got to preview World of Outlaws. Got a real cool interview coming up here in just a little bit. We talked to the defending champ of the World of Outlaws, Brad Sweet, on Saturday from Barbecue Austin. And we're going to talk to a PR guy today, so we'll really get some intel on what's going on as that Texas Two-Step begins, and it begins right here in our very distant backyard of Cotton Bowl Speedway and then moves over to Lone Star Speedway. So that's coming up sometime around 7:05 So we will have that for you as well. But yes, this time change thing, man. Where I was going with that, South by Southwest, man. Your thoughts? You work in Austin, and legit thing or just overreaction? And again, this is not a show to discuss all of that nonsense. But
I would say overreaction would be my first thing. But everybody's got to do their own thing. If they feel like that's the best thing that they need to do is cancel it, then so be it. But you're still more likely statistically to die from the flu than you are to get this coronavirus. So here's to everybody that got their flu shot.
Well, I am very happy that for a lot. I mean, this really sucks for a lot of folks in the Austin area because there's a lot of folks that help with presentation of this and restaurants and catering and all of this. It's a big 2-week ordeal, and there's a lot of people that are going to be out of money, and
a lot of people out of a lot of money.
Yeah, and I'm really excited. The hashtag I'm with Austin, I think, is what's going around. That there will still be shows. So if that's your thing, if you like being out in crowds like that, and you like local music and so forth, get on out and support. Find somewhere. I'm sure there's somewhere there, and we'll post it here at some point to let you know where you can still get out and help these people out because it sucks for them. I know a lot of folks that their year revolves around profits or money or revenue that they're making from these 2 weekends. So I'm really glad that it will continue in some sort. We remind you to follow Revved Up ATX on Twitter and Instagram. Actually, if you hop over to the Dadgum Twitter right now, I think there's even a Periscope presentation of this going on as well. So we are definitely multi-platform as we jump in and try to just try some new stuff. Just try to new stuff and see how it may all work out.
That's good. Lots of new stuff. We appreciate the feedback we've been receiving on the new video platform we've been trying. So as Rodney always says, always trying to increase the brand. And if you'd like to set up an advertising plan that works for you on a budget that works for you too, hit us up on the show info at revvedsportshow.com or revvedsportshow@gmail.com.
You some bitches want to watch this stuff, so we're giving you every platform possible that you can do that. So take part of this. Take part of this and check it out. We have to start. It goes without saying. This show, a lot of what we like to do on this show, we like to talk to legends and of course mainstream and whether it be, but we're really of short track. We're obviously short track roots, so that's what we know and that's what we love. But have to talk about just a terrible loss from the Florida area. It was announced yesterday that David Rogers, a guy that he tore it up in Florida for a long time, and he was battling with cancer there for a little bit, and actually even found a way to get himself back in a car here for the Snowball Derby and made a really damn good effort to try to get into that event. But he succumbed to that damn cancer. It was announced yesterday. I'm assuming it happened yesterday. So David Rogers, man, you lose a guy there, and man, that's
actually he made it. He actually made the Derby. Remember?
He did. That's right. He did make it. Yeah, he
special
got it.
Promoters provisional.
That's right.
The 38. No, was it 38 or 39th starter?
Yeah, I believe that's what it was.
37th. Anyways, he made it on a special promoters option. So.
Yeah, he did make it. So that was really cool, and it sucks, because David Rogers, man, a lot of feature races, a lot of you see there on the graphic. I mean, he was a Wheeling champion. I mean, the guy. The guy was just a racer. Cool as can be. He helped a lot of folks, helped a lot of guys, and he was a staple racing out there at Five Flags and Volusia and all of those places around Florida. And now that
New Smyrna,
yeah, and now that we have such a connection to obviously those parts of the country, because that's kind of our home track type of stuff. It really hits home, and that sucks. Really hate to see that.
We never like to see it, but when it hits the racing community, although it looks like the support are there for David and his family, which is always cool to see. Yeah,
that's really, really good. And I'm sure that throughout the racing season out there in Florida, they will be doing stuff to remember him. I've seen a nice outpouring of folks that have been posting and so forth for David Rogers. So rest in peace to our man David Rogers. That will be a tremendous loss for the racing community. 7:05, Nick Graziano joins us. He is PR director with the World of Outlaws as the Outlaws head here to Cotton Bowl Speedway. That's somewhat in our backyard, and that will be coming up. Oh, excuse me there. Still got some stuff playing there. Oops, it's what happens with the beauty of live radio. You still got stuff going on, so we'll get all of that fixed. But speaking of Florida, so the ARCA race, the Pensacola 200 is heading to Five Flag Speedway this weekend. And did you hear we had the breaking news somewhere? Did you hear it? Broke about an hour ago.
Yeah, that King Bubba is actually going to get himself an ARCA ride to run in the Pensacola 200.
That's exactly
coming
right.
up at Five Flag Speedway.
He will be in a DGR Crosley car. So Bubba Pollard, Stephen Nasse, among others. Could that rivalry flare back up in the ARCA race? I don't know. I guess we have to find out. Saturday, 7 o'clock, I think it is on Saturday night.
And the Rattler this weekend too?
No, that's the following weekend. That is the following weekend. But no, wait a minute. It may be. I've got a flyer downstairs somewhere in my bag. So yeah, maybe it is. I am not exactly sure. That man, that's a lot of good stuff happening at one time. If it is, that kind of sucks. I think somebody did mention that it was on the same weekend, so maybe it is. Maybe it is. I don't know. Quickly, before we dive into World of Outlaws talk, which will be coming up here in just a little bit, we had a pretty damn good NASCAR race yesterday. A new package. Package is the new key word that keeps popping up in racing circles right now. And you go to a shorter spoiler, and you go to a little bit of less splitter. And I actually thought that race was pretty damn decent yesterday.
I thought the race was considerably better than it was the last time. They went to Phoenix with that second race to go for the championship. I think that it's better the fact that the Rattler, by the way, is the weekend of the 20th to the
following.
22nd.
That's what I thought. Okay, that's what I thought, but I wasn't exactly sure. We may have to effort to get you some Rattler coverage coming up next week. And speaking of Rattler, thanks to the Snake Farm Barbecue team that hosted us on Saturday with the horn out there on a chilly Saturday morning at Barbecue Austin. Had a good time out there with those guys.
We did. We had a good time. My personal effects, my belongings, my bag that I used to carry around all the show gear and some other stuff with my computer in it, definitely still smells like those wonderful ribs that we had on Saturday.
That event right there has grown really nicely, and the barbecue, as we said on that Saturday broadcast, there is nothing junior varsity about that broadcast. It looks like you short track racers that do this for fun, that have these big haulers and RVs and all these different things that you're hauling your stuff around. That's exactly what that looked like out there. And this is the beginning of their barbecue tour. It's the beginning of their barbecue tour here as they...
Did we figure how Dell did? Did he finish top 5?
I didn't see any results. I hadn't looked to find anything, but I could tell you from the looks at everything I saw in that trailer or in that tent, he should have damn finished top 5. Our man Dale Freitag. Really, really good stuff. But in that race yesterday, Joey Logano goes to the stripe and outruns Kevin Harvick and wins his second race of the year as Joey Logano with his aggressive-ass self.
Well, there's no doubt about that one. He didn't just luck into this one. He actually took it and won.
Yeah.
Still disappointed with the way that Keselowski and Jeremy Bolins are kind of getting their situations back up and running. You see a lot of the good, solid stuff with Todd Gordon and Ryan Blaney, but when it comes to this other, obviously the Paul Wolf, Joey Logano thing is starting to pay dividends already, but all three Penske cars have been fast. Denny Hamlin decided to play Rock'em Sock'em Robots again.
I will say something for all you guys all you guys and ladies that say that these race cars that they're running are no good and this, that, and the other. One observation that I made yesterday was that, speaking of Keselowski, in that accident that he had we been using cars of the past, had we been using stuff that we ran previous, Brad Keselowski probably was not going to get back into that race. So these cars take a beating. But yeah, you're exactly right. I mean, Denny Hamlin, when he decides to go, he just decides to go, and that was a pretty stupid move at that point of the race, if you ask me.
Well, he's done a couple of stupid moves, in my opinion, in the last couple of races. Though it seems like none of his competitors think he's a dirty driver. He's just been a little bit over aggressive, and problem is Joey Logano gets booed at for being over aggressive. But yet Denny Hamlin does the exact same thing, and nobody bats an eye.
Told everybody yesterday, and pissed everybody off. I mean, Logano drives just like Earnhardt. And some guy sent me a message and he said, Joey Logano couldn't be a pubic hair on Dale Earnhardt's ass. I said, what's that have to do with the way they drive? Mm-hmm. I said, he drives with his hands and his mind. What's on his ass, or if he's a pubic hair, that has nothing, absolutely nothing to do. They drive alike, and so does Denny. I mean, they get over here and they stick the nose on people, and that's where we get back to. It's okay for Ironhead to do it, but
you don't hear anybody complaining when they say, Blaney drives a lot like the Silver Fox,
right? Or
Keselowski drives like Rusty Wallace used to. You compare anybody to Earnhardt, these people lose their damn minds.
Yeah, everybody gets in a fit, and I mean. Look, I have had the most admiration for Dale Earnhardt. Unfortunately, after we lost him, because I mean, I'll tell you right here, when the dude was around, I couldn't stand him.
There's a hell of a lot more people that disliked Earnhardt than liked him.
I mean, he wrecked the guys that I liked. I mean, he'd run over Terry Labonte, and I like Darrell Waltrip, but he'd run into Darrell Waltrip, and I thought Ricky Rudd was a pretty good guy, and there was a mix-up there with him. But, people get all out of whack about that, and I'm like, look, I'm not comparing his manhood. I mean, I don't know the size of their hands or their feet. I don't care who had the bigger whatever.
Testicular fortitude.
Yeah, but I can tell you one damn thing. These guys that get over here and lay the nose on people and, have no problem with early stages of the race, just kind of running people over and doing the bump and run and all that, that's Dale Earnhardt. All the way. Mm-hmm. All the way. Jeff Gordon did it. Where did he learn it? Dale Earnhardt.
That's right.
Rest his soul, Mr. Earnhardt. But you got a lot of people here that drive like you, and that's that whole stigma. People just hate it. I mean, I'm sorry. It's bottom line. It's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
There are way more people that disliked Earnhart than liked him. Granted, now the fans, we can get into this all day long, and we're going to talk about being Earnhardt haters and all of that. I mean, we're way past that. Yeah, in terms of everything that was going on.
Yeah, and it he was his own style, and I don't understand it. And it's when I catch seriously when I catch the most shit is when I throw out the phrase when somebody moves somebody out of the way or however it may be, and I say drives just like Dale. And I mean, it's a compliment. I mean, if anything, it should be a compliment to the said driver that we're talking about, because a lot of folks liked his style, and that's I don't know. That's what I think, and everybody's. I said it on a podcast the other day. Everyone's entitled to opinions. They're just like assholes. Everybody has them, but that's just the way it is. I mean, this aggressive style of driving,
and everybody thinks that theirs is the best.
Yeah, no doubt about it. But it was another big win there for Logano. I was waiting for Harvick. I was wondering at the end there if Harvick was going to attempt to do something there. I'll tell you who was real impressive yesterday was, man, Tyler Reddick. This dude, of course, they talk about him like he's 15 years old. Guy's been driving for an eternity. But that guy, I mean, he's already the best driver in that fleet.
He already is. I think you're going to see a lot more of Austin Dillon blowing right front tires, trying to keep up with Tyler Reddick. Also, I was really happy to see the consistency in the first segment anyway of Matt DiBenedetto.
Yeah.
I think once him and Greg Irwin learned how to kind of adjust themselves out, I think they made the mistake. They were far enough back. I think they were running 5th or 6th when everybody pitted behind them, and they just kind of got shuffled back to 15th and just never got the track position back. But I still think DiBenedetto is going to win a race before this year's over.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, he will definitely win a race. And it may be on a short track, and I really do love, I mean, this package that we saw yesterday. I mean, I think we had 20 lead changes, I think is what we saw. And it was entertaining. I mean, of course, NASCAR, I think, wanted to do this last year, but the RTA, they didn't want to do it. So NASCAR does this, and I mean, it was really good racing. Again, there were moments in this. Looking forward to Atlanta this weekend. Atlanta's going to be a hell of a lot of fun.
That's going to be it could be the best race of the season for what could, for all intents and purposes, be the final Cup race at Atlanta for quite some time.
And that is a damn shame. I mean, I love And that's, I mean, this thing has been pushed back on the schedule, and this is a last ditch effort right here for folks to get to Atlanta Motor Speedway, get out there and support this race. I don't know what the weather's going to do. I'll be looking at the weather here a little bit later on. That's kind of been the Achilles heel for this race in Atlanta.
If it's going to run, if it's going to rain, then it'll definitely rain in Atlanta.
Yeah. So hopefully they get a good crowd, and of course this week will actually be the week. I think we'll have the first guy that goes for the bounty.
That's right, Chase Elliott
in the Truck Series. Yeah, so that'll be happening as well. Speaking of bounty, did you happen to hear that those Rucks were at it again last night?
Again?
Oh yeah. Mr. Ruck, I guess it's Mike. Is that his name? So Mike Ruck said that if you put his young lady there in a KBM thing, she'd whip anybody's ass.
Well, I mean, if they got the money to do that TV show, they might as well have the money to try to do at least one race in a KBM truck.
He put up $50,000, and apparently she's done it as well, saying that she could outrun anybody. She could win a race if she was driving one of those. And I think those people, especially him. I mean, because I guess the last one when they got crossed up with Parker Klingerman, I guess that time it was him too, Mike. I think they drink well into the night.
I believe so.
Well into the night. I don't know. But, I mean, that's another way where, hey, man, it's good, free, cheap publicity. We're talking about it here on multiple streams and RevvedUpSportsShow.com on audio. It was on Twitter. So, there you go. I mean, you get your PR however you can get it.
No kidding.
I don't know, but I'd like to see her.
I still think everybody still forgets when Kyle Busch races, he runs a full-fledged TRD motor. I don't think Kyle Busch would whoop as much ass if he ran one of the Elmore motors that everybody else runs, but that's the reason why he runs the truck. Kyle Busch is not going to run one of those KBM Toyotas without a TRD motor.
He didn't win the
no way.
And hell, he didn't win the Busch or the Xfinity Xfinity. He didn't win the Xfinity race on Saturday, so he's not that flawless. So, that's kind of floated under the radar. I mean, everybody thinks he can't be beat. I mean, again, you step up the competition right there. You get in the Xfinity series, and obviously the competition is better. But he didn't win that race.
He ran well. He ran second, but got passed by his teammates. So
yeah. Hey, I see Lance posting there on the Facebook feed. Looked like a good weekend down there for our guys from Texas. As Zach Knowles comes home second, and Augie Grill, well, he's close enough, Texas.
He got enough Texas ties with that 112.
He close enough. The Alabama Hunt down there, the Alabama 200 weekend, as that was this past weekend. And so a good run there for those guys. Jake Garcia wins the super late model race. Perry Patino comes home second. So a couple of youngins.
That Jake Garcia kid, he going somewhere.
He really is, man. That dude can drive. A lot of runner-up finishes right there, but he seals the deal there. Big O Speedway, USMTS, Hunter Marriott wins. He hadn't run since June of 2019. Jumps in the car and wins.
Oh, wow.
Pretty damn good right there. Nothing wrong with that. Zach Vanderbeck comes home second. Jason Hughes third. Ronnie Sanders rounds out the top four in USMTS, Big O Speedway. So I-37 was it? Oh, I'm sorry. That was pro. Was that pro late? Sorry, Shane. I can't read my own writing over here for crying out loud. Or are you asking about pro late? Tell me whichever one of the two, and we'll clarify there. Looked like a good night at 37.
Good car count.
Plenty of them. I saw a what do they call it? A photo finish at the end of one of those races. I think that may have been the end of the factory stock race. So. Sorry, very close finish there. I was hoping we'd get some results in from that, but did not get that. But we'll definitely get them posted. Back to the Phoenix race yesterday. Looked like a good crowd there again.
It was not sold out, but it looks like they're actually trending higher for the sellout for the season finale. So Phoenix only has about 40 to 50,000 seats, so it won't take much to sell that place out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and look like a lot of folks in the infield. We're still waiting for TV ratings. Have not gotten the TV ratings from that yet, but I would assume that they would be up because I still think pretty smart by Fox to get the Ryan Newman footage out early Friday. Mm-hmm. So you have to know that inquiring minds that are worrying, and he will actually be, I saw it today, so a programming note for you, on Wednesday. I believe it is Wednesday. I don't know what time, but he's going to be on the Today Show, which is on NBC, which is, I guess that's KXAN here, or WOAI in San Antonio. Not sure what it is in Corpus, but Ryan Newman will be on the Today Show. That'll be his first on-air interview since that crazy crash.
That day, Wednesday?
Yeah, Wednesday.
All right, I'll be sure to TiVo that.
Had to set the VCR for that one, so you can go ahead and get that one. Didn't hear the time. I think today goes from 7 to 9 or just something like that.
Just record the whole thing.
Record the whole thing.
That's what they made the fast forward button for.
That's right. You will get to hear the first words from Ryan Newman as he speaks after that accident. I want to ask you, as a Keselowski fan, do you think do you think Brad Keselowski likes Earnhardt Jr.? I mean, Joey Logano. Sorry.
I think they used
Earnhardt
to.
the third.
I think they used to get along much better than they do now. I just think that there's something missing with Keselowski over there at Penske. I don't know exactly what it is. I knew there was a little rift between him and Paul Wolfe. You could see that a lot last year, but in terms of there's just something missing over there. When he is granted, he's still running top 10, top 15s.
Yeah. When
you're still the lowest performing guy of the Penske bunch and you're running top 15s, that's, I think they put a lot of emphasis on Ryan Blaney to try to get Ryan Blaney up to speed. But as far as Keselowski go, there's just a little bit of something missing. I mean, who knows? We might end up going to Atlanta. He may find something and just run lights out. Nobody's going to say anything. But I just think I think that you'll see Keselowski run better when he has a better understanding of what he's going to do in 2021.
Yeah. And honestly, man, I think that's a lot of it. And I'm really concerned. I mean, I want him to, honestly, I'd like him to stay at Penske simply because, I mean, I think that's a really good trio of drivers that you have right there. With the Hendrick thing, I mean, I don't know, but I really think, I don't know, man. I think he may be getting soured on this a little bit because he does kind of seem a little left out. I mean, it's, Logano's winning the races and Blaney's the one he's a point leader, getting all the emphasis. Not the point leader anymore, I guess, after yesterday. But he's the one that's getting all the love and getting the contract renewals and all of that. And, I mean, honestly, for me, I mean, Brad Keselowski is the guy that I would think that he should kind of be the kingfish in that operation.
Well, I think
if you ask me.
Well, Logano's got the most recent championship. When you think about it that way with Team Penske, but there's just a little something missing. I'm not trying to say that Keselowski's going to. I think Hendrick is going to get smart. I really don't think they need to use the number 48. Yeah. I think they need to go back and use either the number 5 or the number 25.
Well, I don't think.
Now you got the number 9. It doesn't matter what number you use over Hendrick now.
I don't think they should be using the 24. I mean, I'd have put the 24 and the 48 away and just go back to the 5 and the 25. But that, I don't know, that 48 seat, I mean, the Chevrolets are good, but I mean, hell, it doesn't matter next year. I mean, it's everybody's different next year. So I don't know, but still that Brad Keselowski to the 48. I mean, that's still something where I think if you're going,
the rumor's not going away.
No, it's not. And if you're having to replace someone of the stature of Jimmy Johnson and you're going to stick somebody in there with that number, with Ally.
See, I just don't see anybody. Of course, I guess we said the same thing about Jeff Gordon. But I honestly don't think that if it was anybody other than Chase Elliott taking over for the 24, I don't think they would have. I think that they would have retired it. Everybody says, "Oh, well, we want to have somebody else drive the iconic number 40, number 24."
Yeah.
If it wasn't Chase Elliott, I don't see him. I think Chase Elliott would have been the number 9.
Mm-hmm.
And then you would have had, your number 5, your number 25, your number 9, and your number 88. But I still think they should have switched 88.
I wouldn't run 88 either, but I don't know. That remains to be seen. We'll have to see how all of that works out. But to me, there's just something there that is, like you said, that's missing for Brad Keselowski. And at the same time, I have a feeling that he's getting a little pissed off because he's irritated with a lot of things. I mean, we saw him with the Speedway program, how irritated he was about that. But there are just so many things, and I don't know. This may come to a point where he's like, "Look, I'm done. I'm going over there." And what better of a guy to lead that young crop of drivers than Brad Keselowski? I mean, he's got ties to Junior. I don't know.
We'll see.
Remains to be seen.
Of course, then the question is, who goes to the 2?
There you go. Yeah, that's a very good. That's an iconic car too. So
I bet they move Blaney to the 2.
Matt DiBenedetto jumps in the 12. Could be.
Maybe, but he's got it pretty made right there with the 21.
That car is running really, really good as a satellite team. Very, very good. We'll have more NASCAR talk on the other end, but coming up after the break, we're going to talk to Nick Gragiano. He is a PR person with the World of Outlaws. Texas Two-Step is coming into town. He'll break down Cotton Bowl, Lone Star Speedway, and we'll talk about all things World of Outlaws. It's on your home right here for hashtag Real Race Talk from Texas. This is the Revved Up Sports Show.
Discount Electronics is Austin and Round Rock's half-price computer store. They have $99 desktop computers, laptops starting at $120, Apple MacBooks from just $195, and LCD monitors starting at just $27. You can sell or trade your used electronics for store credit or cash. They have 3 convenient locations: North Austin, South Austin, and Round Rock. Computer repair is also offered at each location. They're voted the best of Austin year after year, and you can also order online at discountelectronics.com. The Lodge Poker Club is a members-only social club offering a wide range of daily and tournament gameplay serving Central Texas. Located in Round Rock, just off 35, the Lodge boasts the area's largest room with 20 tables, 30 big-screen TVs, and nightly complimentary food. Whether you're looking for a tournament or a cash game, you will find it at the Lodge. Open 7 days a week, Monday through Friday, 11 to 4 a.m., and 24 hours on the weekend. Visit us at thelodgepokerclub.com or call us at 512-614-4045. In our commitment to area high school football, the Horn is excited to introduce the Horn Webcast Network, powered by IHS Fan. In addition to our 3 high school football radio game broadcasts each week, we will provide our fans with the ability to listen to the play call from 8 other weekly high school football games. How cool will it be to sit at your game and click on the Horn app and have complimentary access to as many as 11 different games? The Horn app is your Austin area high school football season ticket. The Horn Webcast Network, powered by IHS Fan.
Saturdays at noon, Revved Up ATX takes over the Horn airwaves. Rodney Rodriguez and Bobby Chaffee discuss the world of motorsports, including winners and losers at 12:15 and places for races at 12:45. It's Revved Up ATX, Saturdays at noon on the Horn, where Austin talks racing. Hashtag Real Race Talk.
Text and whatever. Just don't text and drive. Visit StopTextsStopWrecks.org. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Why should you volunteer with Meals on Wheels?
I never thought that 5 minutes could make so much difference in the lives of 2 people, but it has.
Drop off a warm meal and get more than you expect. Volunteer at AmericaLet'sDoLunch.org. Brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
Most of my family, they never graduated high school, so I'm trying to break that barrier.
My daughter, Brooklyn, was also a motivation for me to go back to school.
Every day after work, went straight to school, and it paid off.
At age 26, Kareem finished his high school diploma.
I could not have done it alone.
I see the future is really bright for me.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
In our commitment to area high school football, the Horn is excited to introduce the Horn Webcast Network, powered by IHS Fan. In addition to our 3 high school football radio game broadcasts each week, we will provide our fans with the ability to listen to the play call from 8 other weekly high school football games. How cool will it be to sit at your game and click on the Horn app and have complimentary access to as many as 11 different games? The Horn app is your Austin area high school football season ticket. The Horn Webcast Network, powered by IHS Fan.
Little 90s.
Wow, I know.
That is live, everybody.
I was going to say, I was like, who is that? No, that's not Collective Soul. That was live.
A little bit of live. A little all over you right there as we hit the Spotify hit the Spotify playlist, and that bad boy popped up, and I'm like, man, I remember. I think I had that. I think I had that cassette.
Yeah, that cassette. Was it on side A or side B?
I think that was somewhere on side A.
There's kids listening now going, what in the hell does that mean? Side A or side B?
Yeah, what in the hell are they talking about? Just
those shiny things that your parents never get rid of that are sitting in the corner of the basement or the attic or even in the corner of the bedroom somewhere stuffed in a closet.
There they are.
That is what that talks about. Actually, well, those are CDs. The cassette tapes is the little things before that. That's those little.
Shoot, if I look around here in the studio somewhere, I bet you. I
know you have some cassette tapes.
They're sitting right up there. As a matter of fact, there's a whole that's a montage.
What is it? Mostly kids now that use Microsoft products, they don't understand. All they know is that's the icon that you use to save. They don't realize that was like a little disc.
And it's so funny how that all evolves, and I do like the fact, because I have noticed here in the recent in the last few recent years that it does seem like vinyl's making a resurgence once again, and man, you absolutely cannot beat. You're listening to an album and you hear that needle and skipping and popping and all of that, man. That's the best music there was right there, man. Yeah, I love that. I'm glad that's coming back.
I know. I actually won an old gas station auction for like an old gas station vinyl from like the 40s, but I put it up so I could wait till I had a machine. Apparently my in-laws have a machine, but now I can't find it. Now I can't find the vinyl record.
You can't find the record. Okay, I was going to say you need to take that to our house, man, because we've got a few years ago. I went and got a turntable. Got a turntable for the missus so she could actually get out there and listen to the old school jams and all of that.
I have to remember that the next time I head your way.
Yeah, hell yeah, bring that thing over. We can sit there and reminisce and all of that. My dad's got a bunch of old classic country 45s that I'd like to get my hands on from him. Don't know if he's watching today, but I'll drop that hint. There's so many.
He's probably going to watch a replay.
I'm sure he will. Dad, I want my daddy's records back. That's the old Sanford and Son. If you Sanford and Son fans remember Blind Mellow Jelly, it was a really good episode where Fred and Lamont went and sold some Blind Mellow Jelly records, and they realized that they were worth thousands of dollars, which was a lot of money back at that time. And they got old Bubba to walk in and say, "I want my daddy's records." Great episodes.
I wonder why nobody's ever picked that back up. You don't see it on Netflix or anything like that.
They better not remake that, because that is. I'm not sure that anybody could do that better than Red Fox. I mean, maybe you get Jamie Foxx or one of those guys out there. The way that they redo these reboots these days, Bobby, and this is no offense to anybody, but if they redid Sanford and Son, they'd probably roll a white dude out as Fred Sanford.
I mean,
don't you think?
I mean, I wouldn't think so.
Come on. Did you see the last Magnum PI? Dude was Oriental.
Yeah.
So, and that, I mean, I'm just saying. I mean, if you're going to reboot something, I mean, let's make it
like MacGyver, right? MacGyver. He's not old enough to. He wasn't even old enough to watch the first episode of MacGyver's.
MacGyver's. Yeah, but
who knew you could launch a rocket with a thing of matches?
That guy was pretty sharp. Pretty sharp.
And they tried that a lot of times.
Yeah. He does really, really cool things. I would. They did reboot Chips, didn't they?
Yeah, they did for like half a season.
Okay.
And then the ratings tanked so bad. They rebooted a couple of them. They did Chips. They've done Knight Rider. They've done a few of the 80s. The A-Teams did the movie.
Oh yeah, and of course they did Dukes of Hazzard, which I did see that, and that was pretty stupid. Other than the fact that you had
Jessica Simpson.
Yeah, what's her name on there? But
you like Daisy Duke of any genre, don't you?
That was an okay Daisy Duke, but I mean to me, honestly, what irritates me with all these reboots is we start seeing these, and I feel insulted because it's like, I grew up on these programs, and you do this, you have to know. Well, actually, at one point they did. They remade Smokey and the Bandit, which is my favorite movie of all time. There was a series back in I think it was the late 90s or early 2000s. It was called Bandit, and the guy that played Bandit was the kid that played on As the World Turns. I can't think of the kid's name. He was a young soap opera star, and he was Bandit.
It was syndicated.
Yeah, it was syndicated. You would see it like 11 o'clock in the evenings on KI on a Saturday night. And that's when it came on. The guy's name, it escapes me.
It came on after Viper.
Right. His, I can't remember his name. It was called Bandit. And the guy had a mustache and everything. But, he wouldn't have been a pubic hair on Burt Reynolds' ass.
I'm telling you.
That's what I got today in a message. So anyway.
Yeah, go back and if you missed that part, go back and listen to the first segment.
You can check that out. We are obviously still waiting on Nick Graziano, who will be calling us to talk about the World of Outlaws. But we did talk to Brad Sweet on Saturday on the radio program, and a really, for what we heard, was a good interview with Brad Sweet, who happens to, apparently this dude loves Cotton Bowl Speedway.
I know. I was so shocked.
I read somewhere that it reminds him a lot of, and he may have told us this, we had a kind of a tricky connection, and I think possibly it reminds him of one of his home tracks out in California or Florida, somewhere. So striking resemblance to it. So I think that's the love that he feels for that, and he has actually won there back in 2016. So he'll be looking for his second win at Cotton Bowl and his second win of 2020, as he has already won at Volusia County. So that is Brad Sweet. So hopefully we'll get the opportunity here. But, Donnie Schatz, I mean, it's a who's who of drivers in that World of Outlaws series. And to me, that's the premier. When you get that rolling into your town, you've done something right.
That's the real deal.
Yeah. Because that seriously is. I mean, that's your super late models rolling into your town right there when you get that. And Cotton Bowl has done a really good job. I mean, I have to think a lot of it is Cotton Bowl, just the track itself. I mean, that thing is built for something like that. And then Lone Star Speedway in Kilgore, I mean, just so much history there. And pretty good two-step.
I think it was a TV movie, Bandit. That's the closest thing I can find is Bandit. TV movie on Internet Movie Database.
No, there was a show. I wish I could remember. I think the guy's name was Glenn Scalpari or something like that. It's Glenn with two N's. Glenn Scalpari, I believe was the kid's name. That he starred on the As the World Turns was a soap opera that he was on, and he was on that program, and it didn't run very long. I mean, it actually wasn't bad. He drove a black Trans Am, but it just
that dude.
Oh yeah, Brian Bloom. That's him. Glenn Scalpari was the kid that played on One Day at a Time. I've got my young little kid. Yeah, Brian Bloom.
That's Bloom. It. So yeah, it was a made-for-TV thing.
I'll be damned. I swear that was a series. I thought I saw that more than once. Interesting. What year was that?
19. Where did it go? Hold on, I'll find out.
Been like 97.
Bandit is a series of 4 American made-for-TV spin-off films based on the Smokey and the Bandit film series. The 4 films in the series are Bandit Goes Country, Bandit, Beauty and the Bandit, and Bandit Silver Angel. The films were produced for Universal Television's action-packed syndicated programming block in 1994.
Okay.
From original director and writer Hal Needham.
Really? Come on, Hal. What are you doing? You'd have thunk you'd have known better than that trying to do. I mean, it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't bad, but it's the
Brian Bloom stars as a series of a younger version of Bandit. The character originated by Burt Reynolds in the film of Smokey and the Bandit and Smokey and the Bandit 2. The series also serves as a prequel and focuses on events that took place prior to the original film. The car featured in these films is the Dodge Stealth, while Smokey and the Bandit film featured 2 generations of the Pontiac Trans Am.
Yeah. Come on, man. What? And this is...
you can buy this on Amazon.
Well, I don't watch it that bad.
It's like $5.
Well, I don't watch it that bad. He's going to buy it. Bobby's going to buy it. He'll come in next Monday and he'll give us a full review.
We'll come in the studio and be like, "Hey, look at this. Check this out."
Yeah. And he's going to bring it. I'll sit here and watch that crap. But yeah, that's I'm surprised that Smokey and the Bandit hasn't been rebooted yet, honestly, in a movie form. But maybe it will be. Yeah, I don't know. If you go back and listen to that movie, there's things on there that I watched that as a very young kid, and I'm like when he says he'd like to jump frog. I didn't understand why. I didn't really understand what he meant. I just assumed that,
$7.41. I can get everything. I can get all 3 Bandit movies and the Bandit 4-pack.
Well, that tells you how damn good it was right there that you can get it for that cost. But yeah, Brian Bloom Brian Bloom was a guy. He starred on As the World Turns. As can't remember his name, but I did watch it soap operas. I was kind of weird with soap opera stuff. I watched it growing up because my grandmother, my aunt, whoever it was, watched it or watched them, all the CBS ones. It was Y&R, Bold and the Beautiful, Capital, which was actually a 30-minute soap opera before the Bold and the Beautiful. Watch Capital, and then that's when I renamed myself Wally. I renamed myself Wally for about 2 years because there was a guy on Capital that I thought was pretty cool, so I wanted to be like him. So I was like, Wally was my name for 2 years. And, of course, then you had As the World Turns, and, my God, The Guiding Light with Revved and the Lewises, and every damn one of those Lewis boys married her. Mm-hmm. It's good stuff. Very, very good stuff. So that's how we kill time here on the Revved Up Sports Show as we continue to await our man, Mr. Graziano, to give us a call here. We're going to talk about the world of outlaws that are going to be making their way here to Cotton Bowl Speedway for a big Texas two-step. And, of course, that will be a Texas two-step along with Lone Star Speedway over in Kilgore. I'll tell you one other thing that is going to be kicking off this weekend, Bobby, that I'm super jazzed myself. I'm super jazzed this year because IndyCar gets started at St. Petersburg coming up this weekend. And I really think that this is going to be one hellacious year for IndyCar.
I think it's going to be a coming out year. I think a lot of people will be taken aback by checking out those brand new cars with the aero screens. I know it's going to change. When you look at them, everybody's going to be like, "Damn, look at those Batmobiles." Because they do look a lot. The difference is they do look a lot now to me. They look like those formerly E cars.
Yeah. Well, they've done a hell of a job in streamlining them because when they first came out, I was like, I'll never watch it. Just like NASCAR, when they go to one lug nut, I'll never watch it. But hell, I'll watch it. But I think this is a season where obviously you've got the Penske group, and you've got. I really like that. I think we'll see a lot of parity, and I mean I think like what we're seeing here with NASCAR. I think you're going to have a lot of guys that are winning or capable of winning each and every race, and I think that I think it's going to really bring. Like you said, they've been in a funk for a long time. I mean, it's been getting better. And it seems like, Bobby, the thing with them, every time that they'd get better, you'd have like the TMS race. They couldn't run it because, too many G-forces or they'd lose a driver and they would take steps backwards. But now, man, I think they are totally there.
Yeah, I think that St. Petersburg is going to go a lot. I never realized how big St. Petersburg was until you tie it into Tampa. You ever been to Tampa? Maybe we need to go to Tampa.
I don't think I've been to Tampa. I think the only places I've been in Florida are Anaheim. Oh no, that's California. Are Pensacola and Orlando and Destin. That's the only places that I've been.
Oh yeah, that's right. Well, Pensacola and Destin kind of in the same basic area anyway.
Are they? No, Destin's a pretty good drive. Destin, I know Pensacola, we jump into Florida and boom, we're there. But it's
about 2 hours the other side of Pensacola.
Yeah. A lot of traffic. Ran into a lot of traffic. Did you hear they're going to build a tunnel maybe in Austin?
Yeah. Nothing surprises me with Austin.
That'll fix it. That'll fix it. Just like that damn bus that runs from Leander to Austin, nobody rides.
Yeah, because you get stuck in traffic with that too.
Yeah.
It's got built-in Wi-Fi.
Oh, does it?
Yes, it got built-in Wi-Fi. I get stuck behind it when I have to drive from the studio, from my office in South Austin to the studio up there in Round Rock.
It's like every time I see that bus flash through on the old railroad track there, which stops and backs up traffic even more, I sit there and that thing goes by and I'm like, I don't see anybody in there. There's nobody in there, for crying out loud.
They're on the upper level.
Oh, well, I think what Austin government just don't understand is we around here, we like to drive ourselves. I hate being driven. I mean, there are times that
I know. That's why you drive. I know. Next time we go to the Derby, I'm gonna have to have a no tablet policy or anything. You drove to the Derby and I spent like $200 in the passenger seat over there.
Yeah, it's we like our vehicles around here, and hell, the gas is cheap right now. So
$30 a barrel,
and that. Oof. Wow, that's great. I think I paid $1.79 this morning. I filled up the old 2019 Toyota Camry, and That's pretty good.
171 down by the corner, up over by the HEB, the HEB grocery store.
And the bad thing is, I mean, we're getting at a point. We're getting at a point where it's tough for the oil folks. I mean, it gets to
They'll start laying off. $30 a barrel would be like an instantaneously layoff, but I think a lot of people are.
Yeah, I think I read somewhere that it needs to be about $50 a barrel for them to be profitable. But hell, they're profitable.
I mean, they've been making money hand over fist the last 4 or 5 years.
yeah. They've been doing just fine. But
some Wes Welkers from East Tennessee State University.
Yeah, no doubt. But we'll just continue to monitor that oil situation. I don't know where Nick Graziano is, to be honest with you. That dude, he was fired up. I'll check email here right quick as we roll along to make sure that there hasn't been a problem. As we talked about, he may have called the station, which if he called the radio station, they would know how to direct him over to us. So I don't know what may have happened, but that's the beauty of live radio is when you get into a little pinch like that, you just continue to adjust and you just keep rolling.
Yeah.
So surprises for you as we're into this NASCAR season, 4 races in. Logano's got the couple of wins, and Harvick. And I will say that this Phoenix race is. I did see something today that NASCAR has kind of. Steve O'Donnell said that the schedule announcement, which was supposed to be somewhere around April 1st, that could be pushed back a little bit. That there'll be some race announcements, but that full schedule's not coming out.
Well, I think just because they realized how crazy it was when they announced all the Daytona stuff.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Because most tracks, at least on this first half, they like to let you know. We usually like to see TMS's schedule for the rest of the 2021 season. We'd like to see that when we leave TMS, but I don't think that's going to happen this time.
Yeah. No, there will be delays, and again, it's. I mean, it could be other venues that are floating in. I mean, changes. I don't know what the hell's going on, but it's definitely going to be a shakeup. Whenever the hell it comes out, it's going to be a shakeup because if they come out and they tell us that they're going to run the Clash on the road course, that right there tells me that it's setting a precedence. It's setting a precedence for what's going on. So I don't know. We'll just continue to watch it and continue to monitor that. So, I want to ask you back to that truck bounty. So, do you think that's going to? Do you think somebody wins it this week?
Well, the thing to me would be to see how the KBM trucks try to win it. Right, like they got to beat Kyle Busch heads up. But I mean, all he's got to do is just let off the gas and let one of his teams win it.
Yeah, that could very well be.
But does that fit Kyle Busch's DNA? Because apparently, if he wins all 4 races, then the $100,000 goes to him and Samantha's fertilization charity.
Yeah, and that's good. I mean, that's really great. But I want to see somebody get out there and like race with him. I wouldn't be disappointed if they get out there and Chase is racing with him, and it turns out, they come down to a last lap battle and Kyle Busch wins. I mean, I wouldn't mind that either. I just want it to be. After all of the speak that we've heard about it, I want it to have a climatic finish. Mm-hmm. Climatic, is that a word?
Climactic.
I didn't say climax because that's not the right word.
Between the time change and the rest of us, we might have a better show come next week.
Yeah, well, the whole thing is where it gets a little crazy is when you kind of you slot it in there about 15 minutes or so, maybe 20 minutes, and you have to fill on the fly. But that's what we do around here. That is exactly what we do around here on the Revved Up Sports Show, coming to you from Texas. We talked NASCAR. We talked a little bit IndyCar. The other story that I saw this week, and this is where we talked Corona and everything that was happening there. The Formula One race at Bahrain, is that how you say that? Bahrain will have no fans. They're running the race. It'll be televised. Only essential people. There will be no fans allowed.
That's just crazy.
Isn't that weird? I mean, I don't know. God,
you think they're going to
seem like a funeral, man? How do you run a race and have nobody?
You think?
Don't say NASCAR's been doing it for 4 years.
You caught yourself. You knew somebody was going to do it. Do you think they're going to end up canceling the? You think they'll end up canceling the Olympics?
They said they weren't going to do that, but I mean that's
they weren't going to cancel South by Southwest either.
Well, the whole thing is the Olympics are over there deep in the heart of an infected land, isn't it? I mean, that's
I guess
right over there somewhere. But apparently, this Bahrain or whatever you said, it's like right there, Saudi Arabia area and so forth. And so there were even some question. I saw something on Twitter, and reminder to follow the show at Revved Up ATX on Twitter. And Instagram. I saw some folks asking if there would be a possibility that this first, I guess F1 kicks off. Do they kick off this weekend as well? Australian Grand Prix, I think, is this weekend. There was a question if they would run with no fans, and the Australian Grand Prix people were like, "Are you kidding? Hell no!"
They're kind of far away from it. They need all the help they can get.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. It's hard to say. It's hard to say how much of it is manufactured.
Nah, I think it's next
exaggerated.
Sunday, March 15th.
Okay. Well, that's this weekend, isn't it?
Is that this weekend?
Yeah, that's this weekend because we're on 9/3/9/20 right about now. So yeah, so you'll have IndyCar and Formula One racing next week. Formula One or IndyCar at St. Petersburg, and then
guess we didn't get a chance to do places for races on Saturday show. I'm a little bit behind.
Well, the Saturday show was a little confusion as all of that was going on. We didn't know how long we were going to be on for one thing. That changed, and then that actually all worked out really well.
That's right. It's the Australian Grand Prix. It comes at 12:01 a.m. on ESPN, so that should be Central Time.
Damn. Yeah, so that you'll have that.
Speaking of the calendar, before I forget, happy anniversary to my wife. I know you got a chance to.
Oh, when's that?
It's tomorrow, actually.
Oh, great. He waited 54 minutes. No, that's all good.
It's okay.
Hey, you got it in.
Hell, if it wasn't for the calendar, looking at the calendar, trying to figure out what's going on, maybe we need to put a big calendar in the back.
We probably ought to put one somewhere. That way we can realize when all these things are. Have like a calendar of everything that's going on.
We do have a little drawing sheet over there that we use for Freddie Fryer.
Oh, that's right. We do have all of that where sometimes we throw some facts up. Hell, take that damn thing next time we go to the rail house.
Yeah.
Jeez. And we are actually looking I had an email the other day and folks were had some folks asking if we were going to get out and about again because we've been to the rail house, been to the rodeo with the Saturday show, and questions about us possibly doing some more live. I love the remote broadcast myself.
The remote stuff's fun.
Yeah. So we could absolutely would love to get the Saturday show or this show out. I mean, the Saturday show works well because we can actually take that one out and we can actually have things there for you. I mean, we can give you a little initiative to show up and, we give you a koozie or something, which we probably should do that with this show a little bit more as well as we sport the polos that my man Bobby here put together and really, really cool stuff. Feel important wearing this thing.
I know.
I feel legit.
That's good. That's what they were for.
I feel legit. I feel like a real co-host here that we actually have stuff going on and the show feels real. But anyway, we'll take a break and come back. We're waiting on the phone call. Don't know if we're going to get it, but if we don't, we'll talk Supercross and more Indy, NASCAR, short track. If you're watching and listening, give us a note. We'll talk about that too. This is the Revved Up Sports Show from Texas.
In Round Rock's half-price computer store. They have $99 desktop computers, laptops starting at $120, Apple MacBooks from just $195, and LCD monitors starting at just $27. You can sell or trade your used electronics for store credit or cash. They have 3 convenient locations, North Austin, South Austin, and Round Rock. Computer repair is also offered at each location. They're voted the best of Austin year after year, and you can also order online at discountelectronics.com. Bush's Chicken is a proud supporter of area schools, athletic programs, and booster clubs. With stores in Cedar Park, Round Rock, Georgetown, both North and South Austin, and now our newest store in Pflugerville. Bush's serves the Texas standard in real hand-battered fried chicken and crispy tenders, tasty rolls, and that famous Bush's sweet tea.
I love Bush's Chicken.
Bush's Chicken. It's good, good, good.
This is Real Race Talk from Texas. It's the Revved Up Sports Show. Here's Bobby Chaffee and Rodney Rodriguez.
Call ARS and Rescue Rooter. Broken AC, leaky pipes, busted water heater? You need a game plan. Call the pros at ARS Rescue Rooter. From maintenance to major emergencies, the special teams at ARS will fix your problem fast with same-day service. Just call 777-7000. Right now, mention Under the Lights and score $75 off any service or repair. Commitment to comfort. That's ARS. Call 777-7000 or visit ars.com.
Tune in to Under the Lights, presented by ARS Rescue Rooter. Every Wednesday night from 7 to 9 on the Horn, Rick Epstein and Jeff Power of IHS Fan Magazine shine the spotlight on Austin area high school football. Under the Lights, Wednesday nights at 7 on the Horn, is brought to you by ARS Rescue Rooter, Bush's Chicken, Orthopedic Associates of Central Texas, Scott Felder Homes, The Lodge Poker Club, Austin Community College, and Dave Campbell's Texas Football. The Horn is talking fantasy sports with the Wagner Wire, Sunday mornings from 10 to noon. Adam Wagner gives you heroes and zeros at 10:45. Who do you love at 11:10? Just the tip at 11:45. And the best starts and sits from all of your fantasy sports teams. The Wagner Wire, Sundays from 10 to noon on The Horn. Sponsored by Audiovisual Consultations. Saturdays at noon, Revved Up ATX takes over the Horn airwaves. Rodney Rodriguez and Bobby Chaffee discuss the world of motorsports, including winners and losers at 12:15 and places for races at 12:45. It's Revved Up ATX, Saturdays at noon on The Horn, where Austin talks racing. Hashtag Real Race Talk.
Eastbound and down, loaded up and trucking. Are we gonna do what they say can't be done?
Bandit.
That's right. Little Jerry Reed bringing us back on a rainy Monday. Did you know it was supposed to rain all day today?
No. I was talking to my wife about that. I was watching this morning. It said like 10% chance of rain. Gonna clear up. And I mean, I was out and about a lot of the day. And man, it was gross all day, man. It sucked all day.
Well, it took me a little over an hour to get from the South Texas headquarters and my office in South Austin all the way up here to the studios here in Round Rock. But the thing that got me the most upset is that I spent all day yesterday, right? I mentioned about it being my anniversary. You know that you've been together a little too long, although I love it all the time, is that when you buy each other a lawnmower for your anniversary, that's when you know you kind of know what you got to do. Plus, the homeowners association didn't like the weeds that was popping up out of the ground, so managed to pull a bunch of weeds, and we did a bunch of lawnmower. And of course, then it rains all day today, so all that wonderful weed and feed stuff that I put out, it's like, oh, it's only 10%. Hey, if it rains, that's great. If not, hey, whatever. Yeah, all of that washed basically right down the street.
I was totally. So tomorrow is supposed to be, I think, 81. To 20% chance of rain, which if it's 20% tomorrow and it was 10% today, I've got baseball. I'm supposed to do a baseball game tomorrow night, so we'll see how that works out. But I don't know. They totally missed this forecast like to the max. I mean, not even close.
No, they did. I mean, it's one of those that just I don't understand it. That the weathermen and weather forecasters, whatever you want to call them, they have the ability. A lot of times they get it right, but man, when they get it wrong, it just seems like they just get it wrong.
Yeah, it's like it's not even close. I mean, it's not even close when they miss it, and that exactly was the case today, where it's like, man, give me a break here. Something that you and I talked about, we've touched on it briefly on some of these programs, and now that we've got a little bit of extra time, we can kind of dive into it a little bit. So we've talked about these TV ratings, which it's so we can say I know when folks say that TV ratings are down, you and I have been very quick to say, well, you can't necessarily put a lot into that because I mean it's so difficult to gauge quote unquote a TV rating now because look at all this shit laying on this desk. Mm-hmm. I mean you could watch a race on all of this and this and that, but now that TV ratings are up, do you really think and was it because of what happened at Daytona and the Super Bowl effect? Do you really think that there's new energy in this and with this competition getting better? Do you think that we're truly on an upward spiral when it comes to consumption of NASCAR racing?
Well, I think the consumption level's up there just because of the nature of that Ryan Newman wreck. It was on. It led every newscast for 3 or 4 days.
Yep.
And it didn't hurt that the race from Vegas actually ended up being considerably better than it normally would, based upon everything that we saw. The reaction, we both liked the race. Thought it was probably just a tick better overall than Daytona.
Yep.
But the thing for me is that the races have been able to give back. Right. The people that have been watching for the first couple of times, they've had some really good entertaining races to be kind of up in the air about it and say, hey, there's this new thing I'm watching NASCAR. I thought it was boring because the cars just turn left. But now the way everything's starting to shake out, it seems as though that the NASCAR is still on the upward swing. We noticed it before. I think now that we get into the meat of the sandwich, if you will, we're going through the first layer, right? NASCAR kicked off. Now we have it where IndyCar kicks off this weekend. Formula One kicks off this weekend. And you're going to have a lot more of the name brand mainstream stuff start to hit. Yeah. Although the question that I still have is going to be, can the momentum carry over? I'll be interested to see if they can have St. Pete has had the tendency to not be the most exciting IndyCar race, but we'll wait and kind of see.
Yeah. That's where they're starting off. I mean, I wish they would have maybe moved that or maneuvered that around just a tad bit. Of course, really the only change there, I guess, is that Pocono's gone and Richmond jumps in. When you really look at,
also the IRL races from Richmond were fantastic.
Those are that's gonna be a hell of a race. That's gonna be good. But it's really hard to. I do feel the momentum, and I'll tell you where I'm very optimistic with all of this is the fact that with that short track package that we saw yesterday. Yeah, I mean I'll tell you one damn thing. I feel a lot better as we sit here on Monday, March the 9th, 2020, about the finale being in Phoenix this year than when I saw them last year there at Phoenix, because that was terrible. I mean, that was awful. I mean, what a way to settle a championship. So I feel a lot better about that. But I do think that, especially with the mile and a half, with the mile and a halves, there's better racing there. I mean, I truly do think that this momentum is going to stick, and these personalities. Clint Boyer is killing it right now. That dude.
No, his TV coverage for the Xfinity races has been fantastic.
Yeah, he is just phenomenal. I mean, that's the dude. That interview with he and Gordon yesterday in the pre-race, that was great. To see that, but I do think that they've hit a point where, finally, there's some momentum going in the right direction.
But the Michael Waltrip stuff still kills me. They're trying him to. Yeah. I never thought that Rutledge Wood would be as entertaining as he is until they started making Michael Waltrip try to be like Rutledge Wood.
Yeah, that's very goofy. It's the best way that I can say that, and it's unfortunate because I think Michael Waltrip is a pretty damn good journalist, but they let him.
Well, he's playing the part.
That's the bad part.
Like, he's actually playing the part. I don't think he's necessarily that goofy. I never met him in person, but we've actually seen him in action, and he doesn't seem to be that goofy. When we see him out and around the track.
I think maybe some of it was not that Darrell was goofy, because Darrell was a little goofy right here towards the end, but when it all started, other than the boogity, he's very, very precise. Mm-hmm. But Michael is kind of taking that role now, and I can do without that.
Have you noticed a change in Jeff Gordon now that he's the only driver up in a booth?
That dude right now, he is just on point, it seems like.
I still think they need to bring a third person in.
Yeah.
They're already bringing in Jamie McMurray and Larry McReynolds in enough as it is live from the studio, but I don't know. You don't really see him do that. You don't really see him do that with the football coverage and stuff. Yeah, they bring in the officials to double check, hey, would you rule this way and this way? Speaking of officials, man, have you noticed there has been a movement from the powers that be and some of the players? The NFL, I think, is really going to end up considering this XFL kickoff.
Well, they better.
It's more entertaining.
It's definitely entertaining. I'll tell you one thing that the NFL needs to take note of that I saw this weekend is where the XFL immediately on Sunday came out and said that they screwed the pooch on the, I think it was a Houston call. They missed something, and they posted that, like, the official that made the call is like gone. They fired him.
Really?
Yeah. So he's like gone out the door. And
the Houston and Dallas game?
The Houston, who'd they play this week? Houston, it was this Saturday, I think is when that happened.
This week. I think they played the Dragons again.
Yeah. They missed a call, and I guess it didn't affect it. Houston won again, I think, didn't they? But the guy's gone. And the XFL is like, look, we understand as a league that we have to be precise. We have to make the right calls. The official in question is no longer a party to, so he's gone, and that's accountability right there. But there's a lot of things. Yes, that kickoff definitely, and I have been so opposed to changes to the game. I mean, because I grew up in this stuff, but
that's a smart change.
But man, that excuse me, and the whole thing is, man, that's better than the kickoff the NFL has.
Yeah, I mean, it really is. So do you think this version of the XFL is going to end up lasting longer than the AAF and
Absolutely.
the Alliance?
This will definitely survive because they're getting good crowds. I mean,
they're getting good crowds. The ratings are okay. I mean, for what they are.
I mean, they're
not NFL style ratings.
They can't beat NASCAR, but I mean, hell, NASCAR ratings are up.
Now remember, don't get too over optimistic because people think we just be drinking the Kool-Aid.
This is a minor league football league. No, it ain't. No, it ain't.
It's the professional league when the NFL's not playing.
I'll tell you what I'm real glad about is I don't hear any rumblings, and we would hear them. Trust me, not just you and I. Anyone would hear them if this league was financially struggling. We'd know.
You would have heard it just like you did with the Alliance last year.
We would know. Yeah. And
I just wish San Antonio was part of the XFL.
Well, they may expand that. I mean, they could expand it. I mean, what I don't like is that we're into week 6. I guess this is we're into week 6 of a 10-week season. They're playing each other again.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I like it when.
Yeah, but the problem is though they got to expand. They got to expand 4 teams at a time. Right.
Right. They've done this. They've done this. It was a genius move.
I guess they could do 2, and then that'd give you 12 on each side. It'd be 6 and 6.
Well, they did. The push was, I think, again, my opinion, the AAF. Those folks knew, which there were some good people involved with that too. That they knew that the XFL was coming, and I think the AAF kind of lit the wick a little bit, and they're like, okay, we need to start before them. And there were too many T's that weren't crossed, or X's that weren't crossed, or I's that weren't dotted. And they did all of this, and they weren't quite ready to make the push that they thought they were. And that's why it fell on its face. Hell, that football wasn't bad either.
No, it was actually decent. Yeah. I mean, when I went to a couple of those Commanders games, they were really interesting. I just think that it's going to be interesting to see if they expand. I mean, I think you do it 2 times. I think you do it once to get to, you got 8, then you got to go to 10.
Yeah, because there are some good markets. One of them being San Antonio.
I think there's enough. I think there's enough fans in San Antonio. You have the Alamo Dome.
Well, and I was talking to a guy that said, "Wow, no, you can't oversaturate it. San Antonio and Houston and Dallas, and we got a little further into the conversation. I'm like, "Where are you from, dude?" He's like, "Oh, I'm from Maine." I'm like, "Dude," I said, "San Antonio's as big as Maine, for crying out loud." I said, "Are you kidding?" I said, I've always thought that Major League Baseball would work in San Antonio with the Hispanic feed that you would get from Laredo and all of the border push that you would get.
I'm surprised they didn't get an MLS franchise in San Antonio first.
Very surprised, but
because they're not coming. The San Antonio fans are not coming all the way to the domain. It's not happening.
They ain't coming over here. They're not paying $12 a beer. They'll watch that shit somewhere else. We should go live stream that stuff. We'd have a hell of an audience. They ain't gonna go pay that money for that. Not that they would just be drinking beer.
I've been told that Major League Soccer is where it's at, though. It's the sport of the future.
Well, I mean, you look at these. You've got the MLBs and the NBAs and the NFLs, which all 3 of those, they've got underlying problems. MLB, they've got to figure out. My Astros, our Astros are taking a hell of a hit right now because they did wrong, and they did. They cheated.
But they also kicked a lot of ass on the road, too.
But, man, this has been going on for so long. I mean, you can trace this back. I mean, I heard a guy talking about how they were doing this back in the 80s. And again, when you're the one that's caught, it's like when the old lady catches you with somebody else, it's like you're the one that caught. She may have a boyfriend, too, but you're the one that got caught. The Astros got caught, and they're going to be the poster child for all of the scrutiny that those road games are going to be horrible. Oh my God, it's going to be horrible. The NFL has their issues. They have to find a way with the CBA that's going on right now, salary cap and everything. They have to figure out a way to these guys need health insurance. I mean, MLB. I think with MLB, I think if you're, I think if you are 30 days in Major League Baseball, you have lifetime health insurance forever.
Really?
Yeah. And I mean, the NFL, you don't get that in the NFL. And hell, that one's a hell of a lot more violent. They have to fix that. They have to fix athletes getting in trouble and just all of this mess. And the NBA, you know, they've got their problems as well. I mean, although they seem to be on the uptick, they've got a commissioner that seems to be a little more hands-on, like we talk about with Jim France. But these sports like MLS soccer, NASCAR, IndyCar racing, this is their time. Because, hell, it's easy to get on TV now.
But that's why the XFL's everywhere. There's nobody had to pay to get them.
That's exactly right.
I think that's why the XFL is actually succeeding, is because, well, the networks didn't have to pay, but they're on all the mainstream channels.
Yeah, that definitely helps when you're on Fox and FS1 and ESPN and ABC. I mean, that's great coverage right there. I mean, you put it in front of people on a couple of those platforms for free, and folks are going to watch it. And the thing is, with football, we are so hungry for football. Everything in this country revolves around football. I remember growing up, baseball was kind of the all-American thing, you know, hot dogs, apple pies, baseball, all of that. That was the thing. But now football has just escalated the popularity of it, and I think it just kind of reigns our society. Bobby, is that football is violent. Football is violent, and guys are these warriors get out there and they're beating the living shit out of each other.
They really are,
and that's what we like.
Modern day gladiators.
Yeah, baseball is boring. I mean. It's a very slow game. It's very mundane. Takes a long time. 9 innings is a long time. I love high school baseball. We play 7 innings. Right about the time you get uncomfortable, it's over. And that's good. That's something. Baseball has stuff to fix. Basketball has done a really good job of getting themselves in line. I think this XFL thing is it's a good thing, obviously, for the XFL, for all the guys that still get to play. But I think it's great for the NFL. It's a true feeder system for them now.
Well, that's what they said, is that I still don't see anybody going directly from like high school into the XFL. Don't see that happening. But I do see it as a way, you know, there are guys that they get caught out of the system.
Yeah.
Garrett Gilbert, look what he was doing with the Memphis team there in the Alliance last year. I mean, he was making great plays. I'm surprised he never got picked up. I guess didn't he get picked up by the Steelers?
Yes, he was with them for a little bit.
For a little bit.
And I think it really gives you the opportunity. I know with the Dallas team, I saw Lance Dunbar playing with them there at one point, and I think he was a second string, third string running back for the Cowboys there for some time, and he hung around Dallas, and he had a lot of people liked him in Dallas, and he made his way onto that team, and it gives guys an opportunity to where it's not so easy to flame out. You know what I mean? It's there's still opportunities there. Of course, like, again, this is a bad example, but Colin Kaepernick's like, no way will I play in that. I'm like, dude, I don't think you'd be very good in it anyway. Just personal opinion, only based on what I remember of him playing football. Mm-hmm. But it gives them an avenue. College football is just tremendous, and honestly, is a good feeder system for the National Football League. But with college football, I mean, you got to figure out these guys, the whole paying them. Obviously, they're getting paid. God, trust me, we're paying for a college education and about to embark on another one, and I know that's expensive. But there's a lot of things to fix there too. As much as college football Saturdays are amazing.
Well, they make a lot of money, but I think if you're going to do it, just pay them all the exact same amount of money.
That's it.
And pay them pennies on the dollar.
Yep.
Because, I mean, and that's as much as that sounds like that's kind of an a-hole thing to say, you cannot pay college kids to play college football the way that you pay an NFL player.
No.
It doesn't matter whether or not you have the Heisman winning quarterback or you're the second string guy. As long as you are on scholarship, you should only get paid the same amount of money. Now the question is that leads into something else. Do you end up having to pay the walk-on kids that aren't on scholarship? Do they get paid?
Well, I mean, they should. I mean, honestly, they should. If you're looking at a fair checks and balances system, but for these guys, I mean, you walk around Austin. Let's just use Austin for an example right now. If you walk around Austin and you see people wearing a Texas number 11 thing, I mean, obviously that's Sam Ehlinger. I mean, that's a lot of people wearing his likeness. What's
that linebacker that used to wear that number? Johnson?
Yeah. It
could be Johnson.
Well, and you get, and then the 10. You get the number 10. I mean, those 10 jerseys.
Yeah, but those all say Vince Young now. As soon as he quit playing, they put that on there.
They definitely put that on there. But that, I don't know.
Maybe that's a bad example.
But the XFL is very, very good for business. But it's funny. You go back and you look at this whole, like when you talk about players getting paid, Reggie Bush. The guy was just tremendous, and they never paid him. They never paid him a dime, but his parents got a nice house, and all of that. But there's so many different examples that you can look at it and go back to that. But the XFL, I think what it does is, one, it gives us it solves that football for a good extra few months that we didn't have before.
Well, it goes through the draft, right?
Yeah, and it's very smart that they piggyback that sumbitch right after the NFL is done, when you've got the momentum going.
And they use the same graphics. Graphics they use for the Super Bowl, with it being right there in the dead center, is the same graphics they use for the XFL.
And they've got the broadcast crews. It's not Buck and Aikman and Al Michaels and all these different people, but
they're not that
good
bad.
people. You got Kurt Menefee calling a game. Kurt Menefee's top notch. That's good stuff right there.
And who's his partner? Brock's on the field, and then
Brock Heward, and then his guy is I can't think of who it is. I wish they would get like Charles Davis jump over to that stuff, but again, maybe they will, because it's going to expand. It's going to survive. I would already say it's a success. I mean, we're not hearing anything internally that would lead us to believe that there are problems with the AAF. We heard it pretty damn quick.
Well, and also, have you seen the deal about WWE trying to tie in with ESPN Plus?
No.
Yeah, they're talking about streaming the pay-per-view events on WWE and ESPN Plus.
Nice.
A lot of people have ESPN Plus, but they don't have the WWE network.
That's exactly right.
It gives them another reason. I have it, but basically it's just so I can watch UTSA football coming up in the fall.
Yeah. No doubt. Other racing note that I meant to ask you, as we're totally out of sync here, but so did you see that Tony Stewart will be competing in the Xfinity race on the road course at Indianapolis?
I think it's great. I think it's great for Stewart. I think it's great for the Xfinity series. Smoke, Hall of Famer. Anytime you have somebody of Smoke's caliber coming and race the series, everybody says, the Cup driver's coming down. Nobody really gave a damn when Smoke said, let's do it.
Yeah, and a great place for him. The route's right there in Indianapolis, so that's for everyone that said, well, I don't think that's a great idea. You probably got a few thousand that are going to show up just for that, just for that right there. So very, very good right there, and very cool of Tony Stewart to jump in and do that as well. So remember, even though we didn't get the details here, we will give you the details now. The World of Outlaws headed here to Texas for the Texas Two-Step coming up. It'll be on Friday out at Cotton Bowl Speedway in Page. Your Friday event, that is going to be
Friday the 13th, and I think it's going to be almost a full moon.
Yeah.
Or is the full moon tomorrow?
I don't know.
What is it? This week is daylight savings time, a full moon, and a Friday the 13th all in 1 week. And next week, spring break for most everybody.
Man. Yeah, that'll be good. So you've got that at Cotton Bowl, and then Lone Star Speedway in Kilgore. They will race on Saturday. Both of those events, hot laps start at 6 o'clock, 7:30. They will get them started, and you can watch it on dirtvisiontv.com if you happen to not be able to make it out there to that. You can watch it there. You can also go to worldofoutlaws.com/tickets and 844 Dirt Ticks.
That's right. I don't know if they have tickets. They may not have walk-up tickets available.
It sure looks like they're not going to, because I know one of the things that when I was talking to the PR guy there about all of this, he's like, be sure and remind people, here's where you get tickets. So it doesn't sound like you can cruise right on up there and just sashay your way in there like you would on a regular race night. So huge events. Get yourself out there if you want to watch some of the best racing that you're going to see. Seriously, that Cotton Bowl event, and I'm not just saying that because it's the closest one to us and that we have had some ties to that, but watching those dudes on that track, that is going to be some kind of kick-ass racing right there. That'll be good. That is on Friday night, the first leg of the Texas two-step, as the World of Outlaws makes their way into Texas for some damn good racing, and you'll see it at Cotton Bowl Speedway. Again, hot laps at 6 o'clock. The action starts at 7:30, and you're going to see some of the finest in the country out there.
The best of the best.
The best of the best. The Winged Warriors, and they should call those the Big Ball Wing Warriors.
Well, and kudos to Cotton Bowl for getting two of the biggest national touring series there. I guess maybe you could say the World of Outlaws, the late models, would be the top two. But, yeah, I mean, the biggest in the open wheel modifieds and the biggest in the sprint cars. That's a hell of a way to open up a 2020 season.
Boy, you ain't lying. We're talking about breakout years and everything that's happening out there at Cotton Bowl, and this is going to be a big year for them. But, yeah, you start with that. One of the things you talked about on Saturday, which I think is just, you think about this, that big 3/8 mile out there at Cotton Bowl, 13.059 seconds.
God, that's fast.
Jeez.
After calling as many races as we have from out there to realize.
Oh, hold on. Actually, I'm sorry. 13.517, but still.
517, yeah.
That's 059 over at Lone Star.
Well, that's still 13 and a half seconds around Cotton Bowl Speedway. That is just straight shagging ass.
That is fast. That is no lift. I mean, that is, damn. That's fast. That's fast. And that's what you're going to get if you make your way out to CBS on Friday night. Again, worldofoutlaws.com/tix, TIX, or 844-RACE-TIX if you want to check that out. If you can't get out there, you can go to Dirt Vision TV or dirtvision.com. dirtvision.com, and you can catch a race right there, Cotton Bowl. But if you can, go.
Be a fun one.
It's going to be fun. That is going to be a great weekend. Thank you all for sticking with us. I know we got a little bit off the rails right there. We got into actually other sports talk. That's what it's all about. People stuck around, so that's good. Going to be a great weekend. Hopefully you can get yourself through the rest of the week as you have sprung forward. So hopefully take a nap. Take a nap tomorrow. It's National Nap Day today. Take a nap sometime. Catch up on that hour of sleep. Glad you're with us. Remember, be nice to someone. You never know what they're going through. You're going to feel better as well afterwards. For Bobby, I'm Rodney. You may see us at Cotton Bowl Speedway. It's on a Friday. It's not a school night. Might be able to make that one. It's going to be fun. Appreciate you watching. Share this with a friend. Share it with an enemy. Let everybody know where you get your hashtag Real Race Talk. It's right here on RUSS from Texas. Have a great week, everybody.